Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Ken. Today, I'm going to be doing something very special. I'm going to be doing basketball skills. The basic of all basketball skills is dribbling. So what I'm going to be doing today is showing some basic skills that I've applied to my kids on how to improve their basketball skills as for dribbling. Like whether it's just controlling the ball in general down to doing fast breaks. So enough. Let's get started. All right, now we're back. Now I'm about to show you the things that you're going to need to get started. First thing you're going to need to get started is a ball. There's different regulation size balls based on the age, so make sure if you can get the ball that you needed. Some kids may need a smaller ball, but as you get to older kids, about around 14 to 15, they use either regulation size NBA balls or college balls, which can vary. Just make sure you check and get the right one for your child or your need. This one right here is a regulation size ball. The other thing that you need to know about the ball, make sure that it's properly inflated. Make sure that it has enough air in it. You don't want it to have too much bounce or too less bounce. You want to make sure that it has enough bounce to where when you're bouncing it comfortably, it's somewhere between waist high, not above, not to the chest, but somewhere about around the waist to where your arm is comfortable dribbling. So that's the first thing. Number two, second thing that you need is a dribbling space. Right here, I'm using the driveway here at the house because there's a long enough space for me to dribble. The space that you want to use, you want to at least have somewhere about, I'm not using the full length of the driveway, I'm only using a partial bit, so you want to make sure that you have at least probably 20 to 30 feet. It depends on how much practicing that you want to do, which also is going to apply to my next step. So you want to make sure that it's wide enough. I'm only going to be using half the driveway. I'm not going to be using the full size because I usually have half of it for the kids to do one thing, and then the other half is just straight practicing up and down, which I get to later on. You understand what I mean later on. So make sure that you have enough width and enough length. You can also use, if you have straight sidewalks like these that you see up the street, you can use sidewalks like that if you don't have a driveway. So basically you need a flat level area that you can use for dribbling, whether it's a driveway, if you live on a cul-de-sac somewhat kind of like this and the streets are not too busy, you can do it in your street, but just be careful and watch out for traffic when you do that. But otherwise, use a driveway. Driveway works best because in the later steps you'll see that it's easier for you to set up once you're ready to get started and get practicing. So that is number two. Number three, what you're going to need. Now you have your ball, you have your space to practice. You need something to kind of mark what you're going to be doing in these practices. So some of the stuff I have here, you can use anything from paint cans. You can use rocks. You could use solo cups. You could use paint buckets. You could use anything that you can put down to make a mark as for what you're going to be, because you're going to be doing like an obstacle course type thing. You're going to be doing some maneuvering, and then you also want space to where you could dribble between and be able to maintain in the middle of that space. For what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be using, I have cones. These are basketball cones by Spalding. I bought about 2, 4, 6. I have 8 of them, so I will be placing them into spaces that I have designated on the driveway. Now, if you're going to be doing this a lot and you're going to have cones or whatever you're going to use to make it much easier, what I did on the first time, I took my spray paint can, and as I lift it up, I just dabbed a little paint to mark that spot. So whenever I get ready to reapply my combs, all I got to do is just drop it over that spot. So you could take something, you could take chalk or whatever. If there's going to be a permanent space that you're going to be using, like in your driveway, I wouldn't suggest doing it in the streets or the sidewalk. Do it on your own property, but make sure you mark, so whenever you start to do these practices again, it'll be easier for you to set up, and you won't have to go through the measuring and determining where everything goes. It's just a matter of drop and go. So that is number 3. And last, final not least, number 4, the thing that you're gonna need to do, or that you're gonna need before you get started, make sure you have something to keep you hydrated, whether it's bottled water or some type of quencher like Gatorade, Powerade, or whatever. But make sure that you have something to get you hydrated so that you won't pass out during your workout. So this is definitely important, especially at the end. That's why I had this last. Make sure you have either a jug of water, a cup, a sports bottle, or something. Water is easily accessible. You can get water out the house, get you some ice water. By the time that you finish your workout, your water will be nice and cold, and it'll be good for you. Or you can get some Powerade or whatever type of quencher that you're going to use in order to keep you hydrated. Now, there's one more last thing that you need to do. I didn't list this as a step, but it's something that you're going to need to do before and after, and that's stretching and cool down. Now, stretching, what you want to do, you probably want to do some jumping jacks. You want to do some leg stretches. You want to do some toe touches, whatever that you want to do to get yourself limber, because you're going to be doing, even if you're going to be doing it several times, even if you do it just one time a piece, it's going to be a lot that you're going to be doing, and you will probably perspire a little bit, and you will tire out. And you'll find out as I go through this, as I get closer to the end, you'll notice that I will be losing my breath, and I will probably be perspiring at the end. So make sure that in the beginning that you're doing some type of stretch exercise. You're getting your body warmed up in order to get ready to do the dribbling skills, and also that you do it again and you're stretching. You're getting those muscles, keeping them from being so tight once the workout is over. So those are 2 things that are important right before you get ready to get started and right at the end. So now I've got everything listed as for what you need, what area that you need, and other materials. Let's get started into the video. All right, guys, now we're about to get started. Now, there are 3 levels to this basic basketball skill. In each of the 3 levels that I'm about to introduce, you're going to be using your right hand and your left hand. You're going to be using both hands, becoming ambidextrous in both. So if you're left-handed, you can start off with your dominant hand first, or you can start off with your weaker hand first. Same goes for the right. If you're right-handed, you can start off with this hand first and then go to this hand. There's going to be 3 different levels to this, which each level you're going to have to do each one completely with one hand and then go back and doing it with the other. So let's get started on that. All right, the first one that we want to do, we want to start off dribbling with either hand first at a walking pace. You want to go up and down the space, dribbling slowly. With one hand, you go down with one hand, you come back with that same hand. Then you switch up and then you do it with your opposite hand. What you want to do, you want to train each hand to become confident in dribbling. And this could be a slow, where you're taking out the ball and you're walking it down court. You want to make sure that you have control. Now, the important thing is that you want to do during these steps is try to keep your head up. Keep looking up. Don't keep your head down the whole time. Just focusing on the ball. You want to look up because you want to look for open teammate players, and also watch out for opponents that are trying to take the ball from you. So keep your head up as much as you can, and that's the thing that you want to practice. You want to practice dribbling without looking at the ball. You want to be able to dribble the ball without looking at it. So try to keep your head up as you're doing these practices. Now, like I say, you're going to be taking it, walking it down, dribbling. I'm going to be dribbling between the cones. That's going to be my lane. I'm going to be dribbling between the cones. I'm going to go all the way down to the end, and I'm going to come back. And then I'm also going to switch, and I'm going to do it with my left hand. I'm going to take my left hand, I'm going to dribble my left hand, I'm going all the way down, and then I'm coming back. And that right there is going to conclude step one.
Yeah, we're good.
Step one was pretty simple. Now we're going to step it up a little bit. We're going to move on to step two. Step two is going to require you to pick up the pace a little bit. You're going to do the same thing, going down with one hand, coming back the other hand, but you're going to be moving at a faster pace. So at this pace, you want to go at like a jog or a quick walking, a running step or whatever. You want to pick up the pace and go a little faster, which also can represent you dribbling a ball, taking the ball out and dribbling it down court to where everybody is on the other end of the court, to where you are moving the ball down. So that's the second thing you want to do. You want to go with your right hand, your dominant hand or your non-dominant hand, and then move on to your other hand to where you can get the ball down. You're going to go down, come back, switch hands, go down, and come back. So let's get started on that. Pick up the pace. All right, guys, now we've completed level 2. Let's move on to the last and exciting part of level 3. Level 3, you're going to be moving same way, up and down with one hand, up and down and back with the other hand, but you're going to be going at a running pace. This may take several times to complete. Whichever level that you don't complete, go back and redo it until you get it down. That's the thing that you want to do. You want to keep practicing it until it becomes something that you're proficient with or that you're real good with. And you don't just want to practice it one time. Practice this every day or as much often as you can. You can never get enough of practicing. Practicing is like walking the basketball. You have to move the ball. It's either you with the ball or your opponent without the ball that's trying to take the ball from you. So what you need to do, you need to equal yourself or better to where you can move the ball faster than everybody else without the ball. So if you're trying to do fast breaks, if you're trying to shake off an opponent or whatever, then you need to become very, very skillful with your dribbling. Now, like I say, what you want to do, we want to move the ball as fast as you can. You want to do like a fast break pace or a more moderate type of run or jog or whatever, to where you're going down to one end and back with one hand. Then you're switching up and you're going back and down with the other. Now, you may be good with one hand. Your dominant hand may be good, but your non-dominant hand may be weak. That's okay. You need more practice. That's where you need more practice. You need to get both hands to where they are equivalent, where your skills are the same with both hands. Your right hand can dribble just as good as your left hand. Your left hand can dribble as good as your right hand. Now, levels one through 3 also are going to apply before you move to the advanced skill that I'm going to do after this. The advanced skills is going to be a little bit more, and you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to add up the way that you're dribbling. So right now, let's go ahead and get level 3 started. All right, guys, it's bonus time. Now we're about to take the skills that we learned from lessons 1 through 3 and apply them in a bonus round. What you're going to be doing with this one, which it may seem a little difficult, but it's going to take a little practice to get it. But if you've done levels 1 through 3, if you've done the walk, the jog, and the run with both hands, it shouldn't be that difficult. So this is what you're going to do. The cones, the way that I have them set up in a staggered step, where there's one to the left, one to the right, left, right, left, right, left, right. I've created them to where it creates an obstacle course. And what I'm going to be doing is each cone, I'm going to be creating it into an opponent. I'm going to be dribbling around the cone. For each cone that you go around, you want to make sure that you switch the ball to your opposite hand. So if the cone is on your right side, before you get to the cone, you're going to switch and dribble it around it with your right hand. If the cone is on your left side, you're going to switch and dribble around it with your left hand. So you're going to go around the cones in a curved type fashion and then come back the same way. Now, you're going to do each time just like you did in levels 1 through 3, but instead of switching hands, since we switching hands anyway, you don't have to worry about switching hands. The only thing you're going to do, you're going to pick up the pace on each time you go down. So you're going to go down walking, come back walking. Then you're going to go down again at a jogging pace. Go down at a jogging pace, come back at a jogging pace. And then lastly, you're going to go down as fast as you can, maneuvering around the cones and coming back. This is going to represent you having an opponent on you and you're shaking around, and you're shaking and you're moving around them. This is going to help you to get more efficient to maneuvering around and shaking off somebody on the court, to getting those essential ball handling skills that you need. So now let's get started on that. All right, guys, well, that completes all 4 steps. At this point, you should have finished the first 3 steps: walking, jogging, and running through the cones or straight ahead and back, and also changing and switching up with your non-dominant hand or whichever hand that you didn't start with first. And also, if you completed and went through the bonus, you should have maneuvered around the cones at the same steps. So if you didn't finish anything, if you had issues with something, especially if you were practicing it with your non-dominant hand, go back and redo that before you continue. Make sure that you go through everything at least once or twice. If you mess it up, go through it maybe once or 2 more times before you move on. So both of your hands will be skilled with dribbling the ball. All right, well, that ends this video. What I need you to do now, I need you to hit that like button. Make sure you click that subscribe and also smash that share. Also ring that bell so you'll know next time I have another basketball video coming out, and you will get that notification. So until next time, keep practicing your dribbling and get better. All right, peace.